We're going to talk about an exchange meter or swap meter. In other words, you're taking a meter that has been either broken or just isn't working properly or just put new meters in. To do that, you would go up the top where it says meter maintenance at the very top here and come down to where it says exchange meter. When you do that, it'll come up with the screen that has two different columns on here, previous meter and replacement meter. Also, it has a primary meter and a secondary meter if you have two meters on the same location. The idea of this, of course, is that you can enter the information here on the old equipment and you can enter the new information and then you can save that and then we exchange that meter at that point. I'm ready for the next real billing system. To do that, we're going to put an account number in here. And when I hit enter, it'll see it comes up and there's Robert Anderson. Now, his address is on there, his account number is there. It shows his meter number, his base number, his radio read number, number of dials, multiplier he has, and you can see down here also his last meter reading. So what we're looking for here is the reading at replacement. In other words, the meter reading, when you pull that meter out, it had to have a reading on it. So let's use 109985 here as an example. When I hit enter, you'll see it comes up and there's a meter reading 1112 right here. That's the meter reading on the old meter. So now that we have this one, we have to go to the next column, which is the replacement meter. Now this information is given to you by your meter reader installer, and you have to have this information. If you don't have this, you're not going to be able to install a meter unless it is something you don't care about the numbers, which I don't see that as possibility. When I put in the meter number here, let's go put a meter number right here on there. We can put a meter base. Now the meter base may not have changed. It may be the same number, but again, I'm just going to put a number in here to give you an idea what we're doing here. Below that, we have the radio read number. Let's put that in here. And below that, we have a longitude and latitude. Now, if you do have a longitude and latitude that your system does use for electronic reads, then you would put them in here at this point. They can even be downloaded into your system that way, too, as well. Your date of install, the date you're installing that new meter, and the date the base was installed would be there as well. A multiplier is used either as a 10 multiplier, or 100 multiplier, or a 1,000 multiplier. What that's doing is it's taking a number that your meter reading, let's say 24, and that could represent 24,000, 2,400, or even 240, depending on whether or not you're using the extra zeros on that meter. Some meters will have what we call stationary zeros. They don't move. So if they have 3 stationary zeros, that means you're reading in 1,000 gallon increments at that point in time. Newer meters doesn't make a difference anymore. The reason that came out originally was because it made it so you wouldn't have to write down all the numbers all the time. So again, it all depends on your system. Number of dials, again, number of dials that you're going to read. 7 is their default one that you're reading on there for the number of dials that you're actually going to read when you actually take the meter reading. Meter head number, again, this will have to be from your meter install guide, which will tell you what type of meter it is, and then what the head is and what the type is. And it could be a radio read, could be a manual read, could be a touch read, whatever it is, you have to find out from them. Below that, we have a circle code. Now, circle code is usually only used for a badger meter, and that's like a check digit. Make sure that everything else is correct on there by using a check digit on there. The install reading date is what was on the meter when you install it. That could be 0, it could be 100, it could be 200, it could be a used meter, and it might have a larger number. But let's put in the 0 as a default reading here at this point in time. And when I hit enter, you'll see it comes up and shows me a really weird number. Now, this number, if you look at this number, 99888 is exactly 1,112 gallons below 0. So in other words, if you took 0 and you were able to subtract from 0 1,112, you'd come up with that number on there because it's like a speedometer on a car at that point in time. So the idea of this is that you put this in here and you save this. Then when you get the new reading on the new meter that was read, and maybe it's 1,500. If you do the 1,500, it's going to take the 1,500 on the new meter plus the 1,112 from the old meter and add the two together and charge it for that reading. So it's really billing from this number here up to 0 and from 0 up to the new number at that point in time. This over here is only used when you're going to convert cubic feet to gallons or gallons to cubic feet. Again, it's something that very rarely used, but it's there for that purpose. Now I'm going to save this at this point in time, and I'm going to save. And once it's saved, I'm going to show you how it actually works by going up to the top where it says meter maintenance, post meter reading, and I'm going to bring up that customer. I'm going to post a meter reading. So if I put in here 10204 and hit enter, you see it comes up on the screen right there, and you see where the previous meter reading is this weird number right here, and it shows 1112 usage. But I'm going to put the new meter reading in, and let's say it's 1500. When I do that 1500 there and click in the box that says usage, you'll see it actually changes it to 2612, which is the addition of 1500 plus 1112 together, and that's what you're going to charge it for in the meter read. It's automatic in the program, and all you do is go ahead and post your meter read at that point in time. That's it. Pretty simple to do. It's not hard to understand exactly what's going on here, but if you do ever have a problem, don't hesitate to call us at that point in time. Thank you.